Greetings from the United States. My name is Dr. Scott Dell. I'm a faculty member at Ferris State University in Big Rapids, Michigan. Excited to be here as part of the ICMR conference. Special shout out to Faraz Haider. Thank you for getting me the invite to share with colleagues. I got my doctorate in 2019, so I'm a relatively recently minted doctor. Also have a Wharton MBA from the University of Pennsylvania, a master's in education as well, and my bachelor's in accounting. But I'm also a Navy veteran and have sold cars, sold vacuum cleaners, and now I'm selling AI. Well, not getting paid to sell AI, but I'm an AI geek, and I'm a fan, and I'm going to hopefully share with you some ideas of how you might be able to use it. I'm going to do some show and tell. I'm going to do some exercises, and I'm going to jump right in, and we're going to go ahead and share the screen. I'm going to have a PowerPoint presentation, which you will ultimately have full access to. But let's go in and share screen and jump over to our presentation. So if we're looking at actually we're going to try to that. Welcome. There's a welcome screen, but I also want to point out at the bottom, there's a LinkedIn address, Dr. Scott CPA, and a CPE by Dr. Scott, which stands for Continuing Professional Education. I do a lot of teaching and for adults and continuing professional ed for accountants. There's a tiny URL that has some more background information. But I also have a QR code at your disposal and a tiny URL, ICMR 25AI, that will give you this full presentation. So you don't have to go crazy making notes, jotting things down, and have that at your disposal. I will also go through and demonstrate some things on screen, live demos of some of the tools that you could use, and I would encourage for marketing purposes, for explanation, for all kinds of ideas and opportunities when it comes to using AI. Start with a cartoon. What will the impact of GPT on business? I mentioned is changing business as we know it and changing life as we know it. But there's a lot we don't know. What's made up? How much of it? That's a hallucination you've probably heard of. Will it take away jobs? Or will it give more jobs? Are there security risks? Can it damage reputation? Yes, 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 and yes. But what do we know for sure? That we want to adopt it everywhere as fast as we can. As I say, changing life as we know it. I'm going to give you a short warning. Part one, how much of what it says is made up? Well, it hallucinates and makes stuff up. The reality is it is a word generator and sometimes veers off course. Makes a lot of stuff up. It may or may not be true. It can eliminate jobs, but it can also augment jobs. At the bottom, you see, I say, well, 10x what you can do as a professional. It still will enhance maybe 2x or 3x as a novice or a student or an amateur. But the advantage of being a professional is you know when it's lying better than a novice who might take it for granted, say, oh, it sounds good, it must be true. Never use personal identifiable information, PII, or personal health info. Bad PR is on you. Any bad public relations or image challenges that you promote from content of AI that turns out to be false, you get sued. And we're in a sue-friendly or sue area that people are litigious and go ahead and sue right and left. OpenAI, Google, Alphabet's not going to get sued, but you as a company can and will. And it's not slowing down. I first met Eric Schmidt, who was the former Google CEO. He took it from $90 million to $38 billion, the folks at Alphabet. I met him when he was at Dell as a CEO. His quote, if you're not using AI at every aspect of your business, you're not going to make it. And I would tend to agree with that. It really is that powerful, that life-changing, that business-changing. And if you're not going to use it, your competitors are, your customers are, your employees are going to use it, even if you prohibit it. And your students are going to use it. You don't get a choice on that. I'm going to jump over to a video. There's two videos on here. You can, again, have full access, and you can play them back at your leisure. But I'm going to head over to this one here, and we're going to go ahead and play, start with Van Gogh, and you'll just see what some of the capabilities of AI. Van Gogh, real life. Mona Lisa. Park Bench, another song.
I used to bang it on the head drum, but I am sorry, it was just for fun. I used to play a little ping pong. I gotta tell you, it was just for fun. And here I go, catch you later. So very nice to meet your neighbor. What can I say? I'm underrated.
full video available at your leisure. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there, but I want to make sure you understand this is pretty amazing to me, but for advertising, that's a multi-million-dollar in the US, a Super Bowl ad. Or if you're doing a cricket or football ad, it could cost millions of dollars to produce, and this cost pennies compared to what would be a commercial. There's a Ms. Norwood, who's an actress, who's an AI that's generated. By the way, all that was AI generated with 3 packages, one from China, 2 from the US. So I'm going to demonstrate some more cool stuff. I'll talk about your presenter, me, help you understand AI. I've got some information on prompt and context engineering. I usually do a workshop on that. I actually did one 2 days ago in Battle Creek, Michigan, for the Institute of Management Accountants. And resources and tools. I've got a whole bunch of things at the end that are available to you. Notebook LM. This is a Google product. It actually will create, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to take a look at Notebook LM, what it is, but it creates a podcast. And with that podcast, I'm going to go look here and say, oh, you're going to try Notebook LM, and I'm going to actually try it here. And I'm going to go ahead, and when I reach it, I'm going to create a new notebook, and I'm going to upload a source. I'm going to actually take, this is free, by the way, and everything I'm showing you is pretty much free that you can use. So I have AI Insights. I have a PDF that I used. I'm going to upload that. It says Untitled Notebook. So this is going to take my presentation. It's going to summarize it here in the chat area. And then I can either do an audio or video overview. It'll create slides. And this is actually a PDF from this slide deck. So the source material provides an extensive overview of the current state of future of artificial intelligence, specifically focusing on impact in professional fields like accounting and business. Document prepared for an IMA conference, covers topics such as the rapid pace of advancement, on and on. So if I hit the audio overview, I'm going to create an audio overview, and you see down here generating audio overview. It'd be a 10 or 15 minute audio podcast that you could use for advertising purposes. You can use for analyzing your website. You can link any PDF. Up to 50 files can be added here. What's nice about Notebook LM, it's a narrow model in that it won't answer your question on, how did Lahore do in the soccer game or in the cricket game? It's limited to whatever sources you provide. So we'll come back to this in a few minutes and listen to the audio, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what the capacity is and what it can do. Then I got a couple examples. I'm also going to demonstrate something called Hux, and I am amazed at this tool. What does Hux do? The 2 of the people that had Notebook LM, they went out and they got and said, you know what? We're going to create a podcast of your stuff. Okay, so I'm going to click Good Afternoon, Scott. You can see my phone on my screen right now, and it's going to play some music if all goes well. It will read my emails and scan. It'll look for news. It'll take out current events. So let's see what it has to say.
Hi, Scott. Sliding back in for your evening check-in. Battle Creek hit a sunny 61 degrees today, but looks like that light rain still hasn't moved in. Hope you got some fresh air while it lasted.
Busy Monday so far, right on track for that email sweep. Looks like we've got a packed newsfeed ahead, too.
We'll tap into some big headlines about tech outages shaking up the online world and a few new twists in that US-China trade standoff. Definitely worth a look for your global finance radar.
Emails up first, then we'll roll into those news stories. Ready for your evening rundown? All right, moving on to your inbox. It's Monday evening and things are fairly quiet. Just one standout message today, plus a handful of less urgent updates and promotions in your Gmail. First, Congressman John Molinar has invited you to join a telephone town hall happening this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. He'll be discussing the ongoing government shutdown and related issues, with opportunities for you to ask questions either live or in advance via email. You'll need to register ahead of time if you're interested in joining or submitting a question. The rest of your inbox at scott.dellcpa@gmail.com includes mostly promos, Domino's, Redfin, and Replit offers, some automated newsletters, and a few routine training or franchise sales emails, all of which look honored.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. And there's other things that it can broadcast. If I'm interested in finance and business, I've got a special access to that. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of there. But Hux, H-U-X-C, is free as well, only workable on a cell phone. So that is okay for what you need or may want to do. All right, let's go ahead and keep going and taking a look at advanced audio. All right, let's go one more step further on advanced audio. I'm going to go into ChatGPT, and advanced audio, again, it's free. This little next to the speaker at the bottom, there's a free advanced audio. If I have a paid version myself, it gives me a little more capacity. But here's my advanced audio. Hi, Alex.
Hey again, Scott. Great to have you back. What can I do for you this time?
Quick question. I'm going to be traveling to Uzbekistan, and I want to find out more about some of the communities like Bukhara, Tashkent, and Samarkand. Samarkand. Can you tell me anything about those cities and which would be the most interesting to visit?
Absolutely. So each of those Uzbek cities has its own special charm. Bukhara is like a living museum full of ancient architecture and historic sites, really giving you that Silk Road vibe. Samarkand is famous for its stunning Registan Square and incredible mosaics. And Tashkent, the capital, mixes modern life with traditional spots like its bustling bazaars and beautiful metro stations.
Any recommended restaurants in Tashkent that you could, I'm sorry, Tashkent that you would recommend for different kinds of food?
So in Tashkent, you've got a few really nice options. If you want classic Uzbek food like club, you might try a place called Bash Kazan. For something a bit different, there's a spot called Cafe 1991 that does great Lebanese cuisine. And if you're craving Italian, Sette Restaurant Bar is a popular choice. So you get a little bit of everything.
Thank you, Alex.
You're always welcome.
Okay. And it actually has a transcript that you can see exactly what it was saying. This is advanced audio. And notice I could interrupt it as well. So it's pretty powerful, pretty cool, pretty aware, and pretty capable. All right, so let's go ahead and flash back. I did time this to make sure I'm on this right page. There's my Alex, my advanced audio. There's a student mode, which won't give you answers, but my students use it to study all the time. What it does, it actually gives you a system. It's more Socratic in its thinking, asking you questions, having dialogue. It'll make quiz questions, multiple choice. It just doesn't give you the flat answer when you ask it things. And fresh off the press, Square, which is a credit card processor here in the States, they, a couple of weeks ago, just introduced voice ordering as part of their facility. This is all these are AI generated photos. So pretty cool stuff, pretty interesting stuff. Here's my background, wrote a ChatGPT and AI for accountants, the practitioner's guide, living a dream career, succeeding with LinkedIn, and I'm on a couple of committees and a bunch of presentations and some publications, ethics, strategic finance is from the IMA, Journal of Accountancy is from the AICPA, some education journals. We'll talk about speed of transition. AI has advanced 1 million times in the past 10 years. That was Jensen Tuong, who is quote, and it really has picked up speed. It's been around a long time. Just two last slides I want to share. AI is like a puppy dog, eager to please. These images were generated, one from ChatGPT, one from Gemini. But the other one that I thought was pretty interesting, someone in return referred to AI as an overcaffeinated intern, tireless and afraid to ask for a raise. And you look at the puppy dog eyes. I actually was driving by a church here in the States, and I saw that it was a side sign that said, "I wish I was half the man my dog thinks I am." Dogs take it by the minute, take it by the day, and they live in the present. But they are eager to please, and AI is eager to please. Two other things about AI. Well, one is it is probabilistic, not deterministic, because it's a word generator. The opportunities are there for sharing, but the catch is when it's not an Excel spreadsheet. It's not exact. It is a great tool when it comes for giving you ideas, ideation, coming up with answers, but every time you ask the same prompt, it will come up with a different answer. So that gives one last slide I would like to show you and share with you. This is one that if you are looking and saying, oh, well, I want to get an idea of who else is out there and what's out there for different folks. And I'm going to just show this as one more slide, current slide. There are a bunch of models. The OS is open source, which means you can essentially download them. But the key is there's a bunch of American models, a bunch of Chinese models. There's even Le Chat is Mistral's is a French model, and Alms is a Saudi Arabian. And actually, there's discussion now Apple might be buying Mistral. They were talking about buying Perplexity. That fell through, but there's a lot of things going on in the industry. On that note, I want to make sure that you have some insights and some appreciation of the time, and I appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to answering any questions. Feel free to reach out. and we will go back and I'll flash back on screen the tiny URL and the access for you to see if you want to access any of the slideshow that's here, and we can get going. On that note, I will say thank you, good luck, and look forward to being in touch. Much appreciated. Have a good one. Bye-bye.